You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now, with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talk's MLB update. Let me, I just somehow now I've lost a lot. Sorry, StreamYard has kind of changed some things around here, so I apologize. Get the music off. I want to welcome everybody. We got some MLB news to talk about. We'll talk at length of whatever you want to talk about. I'll get into some of those topics here in a little bit. I want to welcome everybody watching today on TGI Sports Talk's Facebook page, my personal page, our Twitter page, our YouTube page. We're also live on National Streaming Sports Roku channel, which we're proud to be part of. And welcome Mac McGrath back this morning to the Mac and Jack Show. Hopefully Mac is holding up okay and continues his recovery. What else? The groups. We want to thank the groups that allow us to share to them. John Gonzalez, who was a big part of the show this morning with Jim Graziano, which I'll talk about in a second. John and the Sports Authorities is a great group. I know a lot of you guys have joined already, and we're happy that you've done so. And please continue to support that group, along with Greg Rawlings at America's Pastime, the Love for Baseball. No better baseball group than that. Listen, John's group is great for all-around sports. For baseball specific, Greg Rawlings does a great job at America's Pastime. Tons. I want to say close to 700 former players there, plus umpires and executives, all kinds of great baseball people there that participate in the conversations, and many of whom have been on our interview show as well. Also, Flo and the gang at Bottom Line Sports, tremendous podcast that they do over there. That's broadcast on Let's Talk Sports, who is also a big supporter of us. And then, of course, Ken Krause and the gang at Golf Buds, Sports of All Sorts. Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph, big supporter of our show. We're a big supporter of his, specifically the Sports Corner that he does every Tuesday from 4 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern with Smokin' Jim Frazier. Been a guest there and always have a great time. DDH, thumbs up. Thanks to SeatGeeks for their sponsorship of all the shows on National Streaming Sports, and specifically this one. If you want to check out SeatGeeks, you can simply download the app right there at the top corner. Keep it on your phone, guys. It is a great tool when you want to get to a Major League Baseball game, an NFL game, a college football game. Purchase tickets at a Miami-Syracuse game there recently. And thanks to Jim Graziano, who was my guest this morning, former South Carolina standout. He had some great stories and surprising stories, too, about his time at South Carolina, the recruitment to South Carolina, his relationship with the legendary Frank McGuire and Donnie Walsh and many of the great players that he played with growing up in the New York City area, basketball camps and whatnot. We had a great time with Jim this morning. Next week, we'll have on Don Beebe, former Buffalo Bill. You remember him chasing down Leon Lett in the Super Bowl? Fine wide receiver, special teams player. Played with Green Bay as well. We'll have him. And he's a very successful college coach at Aurora College at present. Him and his brother have really turned that program into a power on their level. And then we'll have Richard Todd in a couple of weeks, former Jet quarterback as well. And then we'll see what we do in the new year. That is the new year, actually. That'll be January 3rd. So we're quickly approaching Christmas. This is our Christmas pre-Christmas baseball show. So We'll see what these teams are getting for in their stockings. Some are getting Cole. Some are getting some big presents. Mets have got a big present. Yankees got a couple of big presents. We'll talk about some other teams too. And there's still some out guys hanging around out there, and a couple of teams are getting cold. So we'll talk about all the big signings, all the big trades, a bit of other news. Sammy Sosa and the Cubs seem to be reconciling. Sammy's admitted to making some mistakes. Bellinger is coming to the Yankees to play where his dad played for a couple of years and played for some World Series champions. Hopefully he can bring some of that Bellinger luck to New York. Maybe some news soon on the Japanese front. We had a discussion too, Midge, we can get into here today if we choose to, about the posting of Japanese players and how it's not fair. And we went back. I seem to be in a minority here. I couldn't seem to, maybe we can talk about it. I don't know if the participants in that chat will be on with us today. If they are, we can certainly carry that on, and I will try to verbalize a little better. Sometimes it's hard to do in chat. The posting, remember, the posting is there because there are better players coming here than are going there. And by the way, players after 9 years of service in Japan do not need to be posted. There's been several players that have come here recently without the posting having to be made. And the players that are leaving here and going to Japan, nobody's going to pay a posting fee for them. They're mostly young guys who can't make it here, or guys who have had their career here and it's over. So there's a big difference in the quality of player. And again, it's people can have their opinion. It's fine. All you would do is hinder the movement of the players from here and give them a chance to earn a living somewhere, because why would you pay tens of millions of dollars to be able to negotiate with a potentially washed up or less than mediocre ball player? I mean, there are not superstars going from the U.S. to Japan. I don't even remember who we were talking. Quite frankly, I don't even remember who was communicating with. It came up during the Sunday I was trying to watch football. So, hello, Paul Spada. How are you? Frankie Cruz is with us. Where do the Yankees go now for first? It might be. Listen, Frankie, we don't know that Bellinger's not going to play first. Right now, because I don't want Alonso. I've said that plenty times. I don't want Alonso. I wanted Christian Walker, and he signed with the Astros today for $60 million. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Bellinger plays first. Dominguez plays center field, which he's much more adept at than left field for whatever reason. And we go out and find a left fielder. So we'll see. The Yankees still have some shoring up to do. They've had a good postseason, I think, so far with bringing in Fried and Bellinger. Still some work to do, again, figuring out second base or third base, depending on where Chisholm's going to play. Figure out left field. And, of course, first base. And then we still got a little work to do in the bullpen, I would say. Oh, Delvin Williams, too, I forgot about. Great trade there for the Yankees. Been a very good Christmas season for the Yankees so far. I'm very happy with what this team has done. And everybody knows I am not a fair weather, or I shouldn't say fair weather fan. I'm not a, rose-colored glasses fan. Everything the Yankees do doesn't make me happy. And when I do see it, I'm not going to defend it. And again, why this gentleman, who's okay. I mean, I have no problem with him, pops into my messenger every time the Yankees make a move. And, when I express my true feelings, I mean, he often will pick a fight with me. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I've been right more than wrong. When they signed Rendon, he was all excited about it. And I shot it down, said it was a horrible signing. His injury history was an issue. My worry about him being able to play in New York was an issue. When I said I didn't think Soto would be back and I didn't care if he would be back, he kind of argued with me on that point. And then when he didn't come back, he said he never wanted him anyway. Guys, don't just stick up for your team. Be realistic. And Frankie, that's what I tried to do here. I'm not an Alonso fan. I know a lot of Yankee fans would like to see them sign Alonso. He's not a good defender. He hits home runs. He strikes out too much. He's way too streaky. Listen, I'd rather play Bellinger there, give Dominguez a shot in center field, find a left fielder. There's still Teoscar Hernandez out there. We'll look at some of the free agents that are left out there. There's still a lot of trade candidates as well. But I believe Hernandez is still out there, if I'm not mistaken. Santander is still out there, who could play left field easily. After that, it gets a little meek, I guess. You got guys like Jerks and Profar. You've got, I don't know who else. I see Tanner Scott still on this list. I thought he signed somewhere. But there are other options for the Yankees to kind of look at. And maybe Arenado will be an option for the Yankees at third base. I don't know. He turned down a trade to the Astros. I don't know that I really want him in here. They've had bad luck with that type of player, and he's a better player, I think, than Josh Donaldson. He can still play some defense, but I think he'd be a better player than Donaldson when he came in here. But I don't know that I want to go in that direction. He's definitely trending in the wrong direction. And sometimes a change of scenery helps, but you hit 34 years old, soon to be 35. I'm not really looking to give up. If you can get him on the cheap, well, we'll take a shot. I'm really curious why he turned the Astros down. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking, Frankie. You can certainly give your opinion here if you like. I'd be more than happy to combat back. So anyway, let's take a look around the world of baseball and see what's going on news-wise. I mentioned that that Walker had agreed to terms with the Astros today, $60 million. Red Sox, Paul, your Red Sox have signed Patrick Sandoval to a 2-year, $18 million deal. He won't be pitching right away, as he underwent Tommy John surgery last June, so he won't pitch right away. We'll see what he does. He's been a kind of an up and down in his career. He was very good, I would say, in 2022, and 28 starts last year before he got hurt. 28 starts. Yeah, 28 starts, I guess. And in 2024, he had 2023. Sorry, my bad. He had a 4.11 ERA, and last season 5.08. I'm not sure exactly how good this trade is for the Red Sox, but we'll see. The Orioles and Dodgers lead in unspent international money. I want to touch on dollars too, by the way. The Orioles left about $2.1 million unspent from their 2024 international signing bonus pool allotment, and the Dodgers almost $2 million themselves. And those dollars range depending on teams. Now, the 2025 signing bonus pools range from $7.5 million for 8 teams to $55.1 million for the Dodgers and Giants. And the Dodgers are among that many teams interested in Sasaki. This will impact this chase for Sasaki, who I mentioned about the posting. He was posted. Let's see what happens. So the international amateur signing period runs from the 15th of January to December 15th, and Sasaki was not posted until December 8th. So the 2025 signing period. So he can't sign before the 15th of January, and then there's a 45-day window to reach a deal with him. So anybody who posted the money allotted from the Japanese team that held him, which is not coming to my mind right away, will have a chance to negotiate it with him for 45 days. That's all that posting gives you, is the right to negotiate with him. So again, fair or not, these are the rules, and that's why you haven't always seen a lot of really young Japanese players in the last few years come this way, because organizations are waiting until they've played 9 seasons. And by the way, when you've played 9 seasons in Japan, you're still about 27 years old, because they're playing there at 18, 17, 18, 19 years old a lot of times. So when it comes, by the way, a lot of chatter that when the new collective bargaining agreement is discussed come 2026, a hard salary cap is going to be in place. Or I'm sorry, not in place. It's going to be discussed putting one in place. Sorry, I just want to check on something while we're doing this. Man, why does everything got to be so slow when I'm trying to do something? This is going to be a battle, by the way, because the players have never really, they're okay. Actually, there was a big fight over the luxury cap as it is, but I don't know that we can continue to go along the way we're going without a salary cap. Things are going to totally get out of control. I'm always been in favor of not necessarily penalizing big market teams, right? I mean, I don't know if the Yankees and the Dodgers ought to be penalized because they're not the yeah, see, I'm not live. Why am I not live on my own freaking? I don't understand. I never understand this. So I'm looking at my interview this morning, and I'm not live on my own website. This is really ticking me off. This is why we have nobody here right now, right? So let me view on Facebook. I'm just going to play a little bit here, guys, while we try to figure this out. I don't understand what's going on. Kicking me off a little bit. It says I'm live, but I don't see it when I go to my homepage. So we're going to try this again. Well, that's not my homepage. Bear with me. Want to do it? See if I want to go off on a rant. Yeah, I don't see. Why am I not seeing my own website with the one-on-one? I'm going to try to put. How about Keith? It's really ticking me off. Facebook Nazis over there. I'm not live on my own. There we are. I'm not live on either one of my. Is there anybody out here seeing me on Facebook? Can you please speak up? Because I'm getting a little irritated at the moment. Frankie seemed to be on there at Facebook. Paul was here, and now they're gone. There's nobody. Oh, boy, I'm telling you. It says I'm live, but I'm not there. All right, I'm going to check out my Facebook page. Anyway, what I was talking about was there's going to be a battle in the CBA for, what's going to happen here. See, yeah, one-on-one. Where is my show right now? Gosh, I apologize, guys. We should
Baker Mayfield.
We should be seeing you should be seeing me right now, and nobody is seeing the show. Facebook, you guys are the worst. You're going to make me figure out a new platform to have to go to. I don't want to do it because we've gotten very successful here on Facebook, but you guys are holding me up. All I see is, did I go to the wrong thing? Oh, I'm not the right thing. MLB update with Keith Engle. Good grief. What? I'm on, but how come I can't see it? Paul, thank you. I don't know why I'm bitching and moaning. Show nobody in the room. And when I go to my Facebook page, what are you on, Paul, by the way? TGI? All right, thank you. And that's where you've been when you said hello at the top? Well, because I'm still seeing the one-on-one show from this morning. This has happened a few times, man. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. That's my rant with Facebook. We've had an ongoing battle, it seems, for like 5 years. And even Paul, I usually see like the viewers who are on each platform. Oh, I do see you there now. All right. Well, anyway. In any event, sorry for that rant. I think we're headed for a labor and probably a lockout in 2026 because there's going to be a battle over this a real hard cap like football has. And I don't know that I've always been a proponent, as I started to say, that if you want a team in a big market, you shouldn't be penalized for it. But with the TV money, the local TV money getting so big, And these teams having so much to play for. The Dodgers had a $344 million payroll last year with $1 billion deferred. Yankees are up there. Mets are up there. Red Sox have been up there. So competitive balance is certainly going to be, and I'm not, to me, revenue sharing, I'm not a big fan of because teams don't use it. It's a socialist approach to sports, and I don't like it. And teams don't use revenue sharing the way they're supposed to. You get paid, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and Phillies, the Mets, they pay into the pool, and the Royals and the Pirates and of the world that get the money, and then they'll spend it to get better. They just put it in their pocket. So that should stop, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, back to some news. The A's pick up veteran infielder Gio Urshela. The A's are trying to get better, but they signed Severino to a big contract. They signed Urshela, who hasn't been very good of late, but had a pretty good run with the Yankees here 5 or 6 years ago. We talked about Walker signing with the Astros. The Phillies signed free agent outfielder Max Kepler, formerly with the Twins. What do you get? He got a 1-year, $10 million contract. He's been suffering with injuries, I think, to both knees here in 2024, and he's had injury issues the last several years, and a promising career has started to kind of dwindle for him the last couple of years. I mentioned that Sammy Sosa had admitted to making mistakes, and him and the Cubs seem to be reconciling. And let's see, what does it say here? The former Major League MVP said, at times throughout his playing career, he did what I could to recover from injuries in an effort to keep up my strength to perform in 162 games. I never broke any laws, but in hindsight, I made mistakes and I apologize. And minutes after this statement was put out, the Cubs invited Sosa to their winter fan convention for the first time in 17 years. So we'll see. Arenado refused. He invoked his no trade clause to block a deal that would have sent him to the Astros this week. The two teams are still negotiating a trade. The Astros are attempting to land him because they've already lost Tucker. The Cubs, they expect to lose Bregman soon. And they're preparing for that. Cody Bellinger, as I mentioned, signed with his dad's former team. His dad is Clay Bellinger, played for the Yankees for, I think, parts of 3 seasons, was part of 2 World Series teams. Hopefully he brings some of that Bellinger luck to New York. If we get the Bellinger that I liked so much early in his career with the Dodgers, and I guess with his first season with the Cubs, he was okay. And he's got some versatility. We can play him in left field, center field, first base. And the Yankees have needs in all those areas. And I wouldn't be surprised if he plays some first base. So the A's are trying to copy what Casey did last year. Yeah, and that's a good point. Although I think they paid Severino a lot, overpaid Severino. I'm not sure that the Royals paid anybody that they brought in, the Seth Lugos of the world, what they paid Severino, $22 million a year, basically. Now, I give them credit. They're trying to put together a more competitive team. But how are you going to get free agents to come to play in a minor league ballpark for a team that is not on the up and up, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they bring it, and they're going to try to compete. So maybe a guy like Michael Lorenz. I heard Michael Lorenz, who's a really good bat, but hasn't hit much in the last, hasn't had at bats much in the last 3 years since we have a universal DH and such. But he was a good hitter in his time with the Reds. There's some talk about, because there's a new rule, or there was a rule, it was put into place last year, maybe 2 years ago, that you have a 13 pitcher limit. Now, teams like the Dodgers will be able to kind of flaunt that rule a little bit, because you can use a guy like Ohtani as a two-way player and he won't count against your pitchers. If he has X amount of at-bats, I think it's only like 60 at-bats, you can count him as a position player and not count against your pitching maximum. And there are some teams that may consider doing that with Lorenz and gives him a little bit more marketability. Most likely, if he's going to do that, it's going to be with a team that is really not trying to win. Marlins, the White Sox come into the thought process there. But then he could get himself traded to a contender with that type of eligibility as well, which would give that contender, some flexibility. What else is going on here? So Cody Bellinger, welcome to New York. A little interesting, Michael Soroka, who has had some serious injuries and has had an up and down career. He was 0-10 with the White Sox this past year, for instance. Came up with the Braves and went 13-4 in his first season, finished second in the Cy Young Award voting, but injuries have really set him back. To me, paying $9 million for this type of player, again, no disrespect to Michael Soroka, it's a lot of money. What else? We'll look at this here in a second. Did I have more news to chat about? We're going to look at I want to look at the signings recently since we chatted last week. Very small crop. I really feel like you're the only one finding this, Paul. I know Danny was looking for the show, and I haven't heard from him, so I'm not terribly happy with Facebook at the moment. Plus, I'm not going to be able to share this show if it doesn't show up on my Facebook page. It says I'm live. Plus, I'm not going to be able to share. And there you go. You find me. If you click on, is it showing right on the page, Paul? Because I've got to go click the live, which is my profile. You can see here, it's my Facebook page, right? If I click on my profile picture, then I go to the show. Oh, that's not it. I'm not going to be able to share this. Now I go to the show. If it doesn't show up on I don't know. I'm a little irritated with Facebook. Again. Let's get over it, Keith. Keith, get over it. Get over it. Free agency tracker. Let's take a look and see what's going on besides the things I've already talked about. The Red Sox added, we said Patrick Sandoval, who won't be able to pitch probably till mid-season. The A's did land also Gio Urshela, we talked about. Max Kepler, we talked about. The O's signed Tamayuki Sagano. They agreed to a contract for 1 year, $13 million. He's a pitcher. The A's acquired lefty Jeffrey Springs from the Rays earlier this week to try to help there, again, to Paul's point, taking the A's approach, signing some, mid-level talent, maybe overpaying for some of them, but we'll see. The Cubs we already talked about. That's all the deals we've had this week. Things have gotten very quiet on the trade front since we were on the show last Friday. Things were very we had a lot of people moving around before then. So we'll look at the players that are left here here in a second and talk about where we think they might end up, I guess. Where's my one of the remaining free agents? I had them up here. God darn it. There we go. Paul's got a couple of comments here. Patrick, yeah. I'm not going to disagree. That's a lot of money for a guy who's, by the way, had one good year, two bad ones. Well, one good one, one very mediocre one, and one really bad one. And then had Tommy John surgery on top of it and can't pitch till midseason. That's a lot of money to play out there, right? Oh, you clicked on where it was live, right? So, but again, people don't know to do that, Paul. So it's so annoying with Facebook, and it's so up and down. Whether I'm going to see the show on my own freaking platforms, it's just annoying as hell. I appreciate you finding your way here, though, Paul. Oh, God. Jay's interested in. I don't see them. I don't know. I just don't see them moving Bichette. There was some talk here. Let me pull this up before I go to the available free agents. I saw an article about this in the Athletic here, which maybe is where you saw this information. I don't know. The picture of the Toronto Blue Jays keeping first baseman Vlad Guerrero, which I would think they would do, trading shortstop Bo Bichette, and signing third baseman Alex Bregman. I thought they'd bust this team up anyway. They didn't fire the manager, who's failed miserably in my mind. They had Bichette, Guerrero, all of these guys on a trade block at the trade deadline last year. Didn't trade them. I think they're probably worried about getting these or signing these guys. I mean, the Guerrero's probably going to earn probably upwards of $30 million in his final year of arbitration, which is this year. And then he'd hit the free agent market next year. At 27, which is only a year older than Soto, you're going to see another. He's not as good a player as Soto, but he does play both. He's a better defender than Soto, and he's still a good stick. He's not going to get Soto money, but he's going to get a huge contract. He's a guy I'd be looking to move. I like Bichette a lot. Bichette's a guy to build a team around, man. Dan Duval, $9 million. What's that? I'm not getting that. I'm not following that one, Paul. Sandoval, $9 million for hopefully half a year. Yeah. I don't get it. Hopefully. He had surgery in June. So the best you can hope for is in June, he starts to his spring training and he's ready in late July. Chances are these things are often longer than a 12-month recovery, depending on the severity and the operation, how it goes, his own rehab. Very strange move for the Red Sox, but the Red Sox have done a lot of strange moves recently. Received that Bichette info on Trade Rumors app. I can't see them unless they're blowing it all up. I'm not moving Bichette. They still think they can win. They were all in on Soto and lost again. Here's the big thing. They can't attract top free agents to Toronto. They went after full tilt for Soto. They went after Ohtani full tilt. And you can't get them. Part of the problem is the dollar exchange is so bad. You know, your money's not worth what it is in the States and Canada. Sorry. It's worth about 2/3 of a dollar. About 60 cents on a dollar, I think, right now. I could be wrong, but the last I had checked, it's about 60 cents on a dollar. That's a big freaking difference, man. Plus taxes and all this other stuff. Canadian teams have always been at a disadvantage when it comes to free agents. I remember back in 77 when Reggie was a free agent, the Montreal Expos offered more than anybody in baseball. But Reggie wasn't going to go there because the money wasn't going to be as big, because what looked like a lot of money was going to be, at a discounted dollar rate. Plus, you don't have the marketing opportunities you have in the States. So, anyway, Paul, was it you that was in that conversation we had last week about the posting for what's his face? Hang on one second. Where are my free agents list now? I lost my remaining free agents. I had them up, and now I lost them. There we go, right here. All right. Well, here's the top remaining free agents. Soto's obviously signed. Corbin Burns, wide open out there. Maybe he resigns with the Orioles. I don't know. I'd love to see the Yankees make a run at him, but I don't think they're going to spend more big money. The big prize here, the biggest prizes are going to be Burns and Roki Sasaki. But again, Sasaki's 22 years old, 23 years old. So you have to post him because until they have 9 years of service in Japan. And that's why some of these guys that come over without having to put the posting up. But the posting gives you nothing other than the ability to negotiate with him. Posting for what's his name? Sasaki. I want to see who has posted it to negotiate with him. And you can't start. He wasn't posted until the 8th, so I don't even know if we're done yet. Let's see. So here's the news on Sasaki. He was posted by the Marines of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. As expected, teams may begin negotiating with a right-hander as of Tuesday with a window to sign that lasts until 5 p.m. January 23rd. However, Sasaki reportedly plans to wait until the 2025 international amateur signing period begins on January 15th to agree to a deal. Let's see who they changed the posting rules a little bit as well. So let's see, what did they have to pay? He's going to expire at all. There are going to be many, many teams after him. I'm not finding the posting amount here. Yamamoto, yes, had to be posted last year as well because he was only 25. I don't believe he had 9 years. You can be 26, 27 years old and have 9 years of service in Japan, by the way. We talk about their contracts, but they changed the whole posting fee. Because it used to be you had to post X amount of dollars with that team to buy the rights to negotiate in general, then you don't get your money back. So get the most out of waiting. Danny, how did you find us? Are we live now? Did you click on my profile picture where it says live, or is the video showing on the page like it's supposed to? It says I'm live. I'm getting so ticked off at Playbook, man. I'm still showing the one-on-one show. Apologize. I spent most of the show bitching about freaking Facebook again. I am live. Thank you. I can't get it. When I go look for it, it's not there. Let me check it again. See, even on my personal page, I'm going to refresh this. I still got the one-on-one. I don't get it. Why would my own... So Danny's finding us live. We've had a very small crowd today, and I think it's because Facebook is not showing it the way they should. Again, when I go and in the feed itself, I've got only the one-on-one show. And if I've got to click on the live on my profile. And then, sorry, I got to turn it off. I'll listen to me. Anyway, Danny, bring up what you want. Danny, what are your thoughts on, I brought this up earlier. We just were going to talk about you have your Dodger ways. I'm going to go back to your comment in a second. Yeah, I did. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. YouTube's normal. Thanks, Scott Colby. Good to see you. Another Red Sox fan, Paul. You and he can commiserate over the signing of Sandoval for $9 million for probably pitching about 10 games next year if he does that. The thoughts on posting. Again, I'll tell you, and I don't know if you were here when I brought it up a little bit at the top of the show, Paul, and I couldn't remember who was in that discussion last week. I was out and trying to keep up with the discussion. It's hard to type it out, but MLB, they can demand money, but who's going to pay it? Number one, most players who leave here are not tied to any major league team. They've played out a contract. They're not being offered a contract by a major league team. There's nobody to pay for them to go. Players don't break major league contracts to go to Japan. Doesn't happen. And the caliber of player that's coming this way is so much better than the caliber of player that's ever gone to Japan, because the only guys who go to Japan are guys who have used up all their opportunities to make the major leagues, or they've played a long major league career and they go there for a paycheck, and they're free agents. There have been teams, by the way, or players that have been traded to Japan for cash considerations mostly. So some teams have gotten paid through the years. Is there a posting? And the whole posting thing has changed a lot over the years. It's not nearly the same. It's not nearly as stringent as it used to be. And again, they got, after 9 years of service, which, by the way, in Japan, they could be 25, 26, 27 years old. These kids are playing at a very young age in the professional leagues over there. But again, it comes down to the fact that, I mean, just compare a list of players. We can talk about Ohtani, Ichiro, Matsui, just to name three. Yamamoto last year. I can't remember the guy that Red Sox brought over that one year. That was probably 15 years ago that I'm thinking of. But there's been a lot. But name me one guy who's ever gone to Japan and we didn't get paid, that we didn't get paid, a team didn't get paid for, that was that caliber of player. There isn't any. There aren't. Not a one. They're free agents as a rule. Sometimes, again, teams have sold their rights to go over there. Oh, so anyway, let's see what we got here. I can't help you understand that, Scott. I'm glad Facebook or YouTube's normal. That's how, again, I click on your live picture. Oh, you always get in that way. Maybe I just don't understand Facebook anymore. Scott, I wish I could help you understand the Sandoval signing. I mean, that's your team, and you know them better than I do. I just don't see how any team. Listen, it's one thing if you're going to say, well, we're going to sign him for. It's a really good pitcher. Let's just say it was. I don't know. I'll make up a name. Say it was Max Fried, the Yankees, and Max Fried had, you know, the career that he's had up until now, and had Tommy John surgery last June. And the Yankees signed him to a 3 or 4 year contract and said, well, the first year we're not going to have him until June. That stuff happens, and he's a good pitcher, and he's worth waiting for. You sign this guy for 1 year. He's had one good year, two bad ones. I said one mediocre and one bad one. Either way. How do you pay him really $9 million to pitch maybe 10 games, if that? I can't help you. They can both cry over Red Sox 5th place finish. Red Sox are falling short here, promising to be aggressive in the offseason and nothing. Same old Red Sox. I don't. What have they done? They did make a trade for. Is this in my transactions here? Can I sort by team? Hold on. Get out of here. Yeah. Let's see what the Red Sox have done here, Scott. So since the season ended, they did exercise the option on Rob Refsnyder. Good luck. None of this is. Oh, they signed Chapman. Good luck there. You did acquire Garrett Crochet in exchange for a boatload of prospects, and acquired Carlos I can't say his name. Narvaeza from the Yankees, catcher. And Joe Vygotsky. Where are all the frickin' Smith and Joneses here, man? This is a very unexciting. Why, if you're not going to put together a really good team, why are you trading Garrett Crochet in the first place? I don't understand. He pitches 10 games. That's 900,000 to start. Yeah. It's already sunken, Paul. Thank God it's not my team. I'd be screaming bloody murder. Right? Great point, Keith. Agreed. Well, in general, I agree with that comment, Danny. I'm not sure. My wife brought me a green tea from Dunkin'. She's the best, man. I make so many good points, Danny. I don't know which one you're talking about. Kidding. I never allowed to start. Yeah, don't forget. You didn't do anything wrong in your life. You lived your life right, and you're getting paid. Listen, here's the thing, and I can't forget this because I'm very consistent in this thought. Sandoval's not doing anything wrong here. To me, everybody's worth what somebody's willing to pay you. I'm worth, and if I don't think so, I can go somewhere else in the real life. If I don't like what my company's paying me, I can ask for more money or I can leave. I'm a free agent all the time. Most people in life are. Somebody's got to be willing to pay you what you want, though. So you're worth what you get. Now, whether you earn it in sports and in real life is a totally different story. So I don't begrudge anybody getting as much as they can. I don't begrudge Luis Severino being able to get $22+ million a year out of the A's. Do I think he's worth it? Yeah, somebody wants to pay him. Do I think he'll earn it? I do not. That's two different things. And not everybody is willing to, and I'm not saying they have to separate those two things. That's the way I look at sports in general. I mean, quite frankly, it happens in the real world. If people don't earn their money in my world, I look for somebody who will. The same thing could happen to me, right? You get very well taken care of, and I feel I'm worth every nickel I get, and maybe more. If I wanted more, I could go somewhere else and try to get it. At 65 years old, almost. Good luck. Not going to happen. I'm going to get less. That's the real world. Now, if I don't earn that money, bye. Should be able to do that in baseball as well. But again, that's not it. Thank you, Scott. That's the guy I was trying to come up with. Matsuzaka. He had one good year, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe one or two decent years, but then he stunk. Am I wrong? Marcus Thames did great in Japan. He wasn't getting a job here. I'm not saying guys didn't go there and do well. There's lots of guys who ate it up there, but they couldn't make it here. Marcus Thames was washed up in the major leagues. Let me look at his numbers. By the way, he's become a pretty good hitting coach as well. Let's look at his career, shall we? He had years where he hit 26 homers and 60 RBIs. It's last year here with the Dodgers. He had 2 homers and 7 RBIs. His career average is 246. He had 115 homers and 301 RBIs in 2,000 at bats. This was not a good major league player. He was a free agent, by the way. So again, my point, Paul, let me make sure he was released by the Dodgers, signed with the Yankees as a free agent. Of course, now I lose track of him. That's funny. Transaction use here. They don't complete the transactions for him. Usually I see this. So the Yankees, he either was out. My guess is at the end of 2011, he was a free agent. And maybe I've got to click on the Japanese portion of this stat sheet. Let's see. This one's not going to give me that opportunity. Usually Baseball Reference is pretty good about giving me the other ones. Anyway, he didn't have a contract here. So who are you going to pay? When a guy's a free agent like Marcus Thames was, and Paul, I'm not saying when guys go over there that they don't play very well. But his career here was mediocre at best. Nobody's going to pay $50 million to be able to negotiate with him to go to Japan. A lot of guys go over there. Roy White was done here when he was a great Yankee, underrated Yankee, underappreciated Yankee, and not treated very well by the Yankees in my mind. But he was done here. He couldn't hit anymore. He hit under 200 his last year. He went to Japan. He played pretty well. He batted cleanup behind Sadahara O. If you don't know who that is, look it up. I'm sure you guys all do. You wouldn't be watching this show. So, again, it's a little bit different. These guys are under contract to these teams, and then they post them. It's like trading them. And there have been a handful of guys who have been sold outright to Japan. So the teams did collect money. Not much. Because no good players are going over there. When I say good, Paul, I mean good here. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck is probably the best player who ever. And by the way, he couldn't play anymore to major leagues either when he went there. If you watch the movie, I think he was playing for the Tigers. I know Tom Selleck was a big Tiger fan. The movie might have been a Yankee. I don't remember. In any event, he couldn't play here anymore. They sold him. In fact, he got money. The team got money for him going to Japan. Now, it's a movie. It's not real life. Thank you, Dan. Danny's been very gracious with the stars today. I appreciate that, Danny. Glad you're feeling better. Scott says because Crochet is arbitration at max $3 million and they're being cheap again. Well, there you go. I'm not sold that Crochet's going to have the kind of year he had last year anyway, Scott. We're going to go a little long because you guys had to get in here late. Duncan over on strike. Overpriced. You couldn't. I don't even want to drive by Starbucks. First of all, the coffee sucks in my mind. It's not good coffee. I'll take Dunkin' over Starbucks coffee all day long. And you're right. You know, I'm not paying $8 for a cup of coffee. Two good years. Then he was average. Are we talking about Sandoval again? You think 2 good years? Let me look at his numbers again. By the way, as I look this up, I just see Ryan Sandberg's name come up. I wish him 100% God's blessings, man. This guy was a great player. He's a good person. He's had battled cancer. He overcame cancer, and now it's back and very aggressive. And Scott, I think you understand what I'm saying here. That I wish we could do something about this dreaded freaking disease. And our thoughts and prayers go to Brian Sandberg and anybody, including our loyal audience members that are battling any kind of a cancer issue. So if we're talking about anyway, to get back to what we're talking about, Sandoval. I don't know. In 2022, he was 6-9, but he had a 2.91 ERA and struck out 151 and walked 60. I'd call that a pretty good year, especially with the Angels. His second year, though, he's 7-13 with a 4.11 ERA. That's not great. Now, again, his walk ERA ratio was oh, wait a minute. Did I do this wrong? Strikeouts, 151 and 60, right? 128 and 74. So that got worse. I call that mediocre. I'm not calling that a great season, or what do you call it? Good. I'm still getting on one good season myself, Scott. You want to give him the benefit of doubt compared to the, based on what average pitchers do today. I guess I agree. Definitely do. Thoughts and prayers are with Ryan and his family for sure. And with you, Scott. All the time. We're thinking about you all the time, buddy. Oh, Sandoval. Jesus Christ. But Matsuki. Thank you for that, by the way. What'd I say too? So I was right? I should have looked him up. But again, to my point, I guess, and Paul, listen, I'm not trying to discount your opinion. You can have it. If you think that we should get paid for players that head to Japan, that's fine. What I think you'll find will happen is you're going to restrict the player's ability to go to Japan and play and make a decent buck or decent yen, or whatever we call it over there. Because they're not going to want them. The talent level is not anywhere near equal what's going back and forth. But listen, you're entitled to your opinion for sure. Anyway, we were talking about the two best free agents left, or the best free agents left. Burns and Sasaki are the best pitchers for sure. Position players, Alex Bregman. I'm sure the Yankees are kicking this around still, as we need help at third base or second base. And I think Bregman's still a good glove. He's been trending down with the bat. I'm not overpaying him, though. Pete Alonso, they've got ranked 8 here. He's still available. I'm not interested. Not interested. If one of you guys who root for a team here, Danny, you want him, first you got no place to play him, so you don't want him. He's Dave Kingman in 2024, now soon to be 2025. Anthony Santander, Yankees need help in the outfield. I might be interested in him for left field, play Dominguez in center field. I do not want Judge in center field anymore, not on a regular basis. And I'm happy, by the way, Danny, just so you know, I'm not really down on my team. I'm kind of happy with the offseason. If Bellinger plays anywhere near where he was early in his Dodger career, and I still don't know what happened. What happened to this kid his last couple of years with the Dodgers? I don't understand. Had a good first year with the Cubs and okay last year. But he can play left field, center field, first base. I'm not convinced he's not playing first base. I think it depends on what the Yankees can do. I think there's more options in the outfield with Santander, Teoscar Hernandez, who I'm not in love with, but he's a decent player. Who else is still out there? Pitching-wise, you got Jack Flaherty. You got Shane Manaea. Evalde signed 3 years, re-signed with the Rangers. Christian Walker signed today with the Astros. Kim could be in play for the Yankees to play second base, maybe. Jerkson Profar. And again, I'm looking at this from a Yankee standpoint, right this minute. Jerkson Profar could be in play to maybe platoon in left field. Tanner Scott could be in play for that the middle part of that bullpen. I think they're really hoping Loaizaga gets healthy. Tommy Kahnle, who's a local product here out of Shaker High School, never been a big fan of Tommy Kahnle, and he seems to always be giving up big home runs. Not a big fan. Walker Buehler, Yankees have 6 starters right now. You could pitch somebody out of the bullpen. They could have used one of those pitchers to trade for a Tucker. They didn't do it. So I think Buehler might be off the Yankees' radar, but on the Red Sox radar. I like Walker Buehler. Not sure about Danny's opinion. He was a really good pitcher before he got hurt. Jeff Hoffman, another local product here out of Colony High School, had a good first half for the Phillies last year. This guy's never been, at the top level of Major League Baseball pitchers. Jock Peterson doesn't excite anybody. Carlos Estevez is not exciting me. Paul Goldschmidt doesn't excite me at this part of his career. I mean, now we're down in the 30s with Nick Pivetta, Yates, Andrew Haney. They're not good players. Very weak free agent market after the top 7 guys. Yeah. Are the Dodgers done? Danny, are the Dodgers done? The shift hurt Cody. There you go. All right. That's a good call. That would explain why he's bounced back a bit with the shift eliminated. But, I still don't I hate that we put in rules instead of making players better, right? Teaching them how to hit where the ball isn't, hit the ball where the players are not. When I played, whether it was high school or college and I played some semi-pro, you hit the ball where the guys aren't standing. If there's 7 guys over here, don't hit the ball there. But we don't teach guys that. All we teach them are, lift launch angle and exit velocity. So baseball takes strategy away to help players that can't hit well, that's what I say. I agree 100%, Danny. You read my mind. I said it helped Cody. I wasn't saying it was a good thing. And by the way, I don't want that Cody Bellinger from his last couple of years with the Dodgers. He is a legacy player with the Yankees, though. His father played here parts of 3 seasons and got a couple World Series rings out of it. Danny's a Walker Buehler fan, would like to see him healthy again, would like to see Kershaw retire. Is there a chance? I don't think Kershaw's retiring this year. I think he would have already done it. I mean, is there still a chance that Walker's coming back to the Dodgers? I mean, they seem to be set in the starting pitching even without him. But, at the beginning of free agency, Scott, I wasn't terribly high on Christian Walker. But the more I got thinking about it, he's 34 years old, and what he signed for $60 million for how long? Let's see what he signed for. Come on, give me some news. 3-year contract for 6. That's not a lot for Christian Walker at this point in his career. $20 million for a position player who's still a plus defender. I think he'll still give you some hot pop. I think he'll hit very well at home there in the Minute Maid Park or whatever the hell we call it today. 33 years old. I said 34. He might be 34 when the season starts. I like the signing for the Astros. I think it's a really good move. I think the Astros have been one of the better teams at retooling. I know Danny's not a fan. Time is at 4:02. We're going to go a little bit long. I don't know if we lost the Roku audience or not, but if we did, sorry. But since we got started late with guys getting here and I have no idea what Facebook's doing to my feed anymore, we'll go a little bit longer. I also want to have a quick conversation with my boss, and I don't see him available yet. So I'm going to sit here at my desk. I might as well chat with you guys. What was I talking about? Oh, I think the Astros have done a great job of retooling year after year after year. Not rebuilding, but retooling. And they do it as well as anybody in the major leagues the last couple years. Dodgers have done it very well, but again, more with opening the checkbook than having to get creative like a team like the Astros might have to. The Yankees probably as well. I think the Red Sox haven't. The Mets maybe, but that's all checkbook too, right? Don't worry, Aaron Judge will get 7 at-bats a game with his new golden bat rule. You know how fast that conversation went away? I don't know if you've been with us, Scott, but when this story broke a few weeks ago, Danny, I know you were out for a few weeks too, and may not have heard my conversation. I went ballistic about this. Rob Manfred said there's buzz to put this in, and every piece of information I could find was negative about the potential of this. And if you notice, it's gone away. In fact, I think he said last week that, he wasn't really serious. So what this guy does, he floats ideas. He gets like 5 guys to say, hey, that's not a bad idea. And then before you know it, we got rules against shifts. We've got pitch clocks. We've got bases that are bigger than they used to be. We can only throw to first base twice. And we're going to have a golden rule. How stupid is this? The stupidest thing ever. That you would change the whole dynamic of the game when you could put a guy up. So again, for those of you who don't know, the golden bat rule was to allow you to put whatever hitter you want up once a game, only once a game. So I don't think we get 7 at bats, but the man's a sicko. So theoretically, Aaron Judge or Ohtani, we could have the bases loaded in ninth inning and say 1 out. And Ohtani's up. Or Judge is up. However you want to look at it. Or Devers is up. Whatever team you want to root for. He's up with the bases loaded and he makes an out. Say he strikes out. Whatever he does. He could maybe they walk him. Maybe it's a 3-run lead and they walk him. Or 2-run lead and they walk him. They walk or run in. Well, whether he strikes out, whether he grounds out, whether he drives in a run, whether he doesn't do anything, I can put him right back up again. Stupid. Rob Manfred must be doing the psychedelic drugs with Aaron Rodgers somewhere in a cave to come up with these freaking ideas. Scott Kobe, yes, we do. We all do, my friend. And hopefully 2025 is a better year for you. Next thing coming will be T-ball after the 5th inning. By the way, he's also backed up. He's also backed off. Remember, and I've been bitching and moaning forever about the fact that starting pitchers average, Matt Snell has averaged 5.2 innings a game for his career and gets whatever he gets from the Dodgers. And that's not a shot at the Dodgers. He would have got it somewhere. Has gotten now about 9 outs after the 7th inning in his entire career. From the 7th inning on, sorry. He's right. So I've been going on and on about how arm injuries and the way we baby pitchers so that, they're looking for ways out of the game is ruining young pitchers. It's hurting their arms. It's hurting a lot of things. It's hurting the game because of the guys who make the most money don't pitch the biggest part of the games. But now, and I've been screaming about this for well before I had this show, but every minute I've had this show or any of my shows. And then Rob Manfred all of a sudden comes up with the bright idea that we're going to make it a minimum number of pitchers, innings a starting pitcher can pitch, or has to pitch. That's as stupid as that's even worse than what the approach organizations have taken to handling pitchers in the first place. I can't deal with this guy for 5 more minutes. You already do change the dynamic of the game with a player on second. No, I don't. Again, all of this, Paul. I said more. I change it more. I did also maybe. And again, I get behind in the comments. You might have posted this while I was talking about it. We all of the things that we've done in the last 4 years have changed the dynamic of the game. The ghost runner at second base, stupid. The shift, the outlawing the shift, stupid. Making the bases bigger, that hasn't changed the dynamic of the game. Why do you think there were more stolen bases last year? 3 things. The baselines are shorter. Hello, Rob. Did you not think when you made the baselines, the bases bigger, the baselines are not 90 feet anymore. They're 89 and whatever. And if you don't think that matters, Rob, because you're stupid, look at all the bang-bang plays in baseball. I talked about this with Billy Sample a couple of weeks ago. That half an inch, a quarter an inch, I don't care what it is, it changes the whole dynamic of the game. Yes, 100%. The pitch clock affects stolen bases. The ability to throw first base only twice. Sometimes you got a free pass. Every rule that he's changed has changed the dynamic of the game. For the worse. All to try to generate more offense because we have a society of a generation of young fans who only want to see video game baseball. Go buy a video game and play and give me my game back. See? Oh, I started off so calm today. Yes, Danny. Well said. I have a response on the Golden Bat. Keeping you on Facebook is more important to us, and I will leave my better. I've been kicked off Facebook before and never told why, so, go for it, Danny. I appreciate that, though. Rob Manfred sucks, man. And I got some things I'd like to say, and it would probably get me kicked off as well. Oh, boy. You're in favor of salary cap for baseball or no? I don't know. I've always been a proponent of you buy a team in a big market opposed to and pay buco bucks for it as opposed to a cheaper team in a small market. You get what you pay for, right? And I don't like revenue sharing for sure. I'm not giving these small market teams money anymore. They don't even use it to improve their teams. George Steinbrenner had a great saying once. If I wanted to buy the Kansas City Royals, I would have bought the Kansas City Royals. I bought the New York Yankees. But that being said, the competitive landscape has changed so much because of what teams like the Yankees and the Mets and the Dodgers, and I'm not sure about the Red Sox situation, local TV money. I'm sure it's good, and the Phillies good. And these other teams in Colorado, and again, it's their own fault they can't get better. So I don't want revenue sharing, but I'm almost starting to lean to the fact that you need a hard cap. No more luxury taxes. I'd make it pretty high, don't get me wrong. At the same time, I want a minimum cap as well. You can't go there and just blow up your team and pay, $19 million for your whole goddamn roster. Excuse my French. If you're going to put a max cap on, you better put a minimum cap on as well. But I'm still kind of iffy about whether I even want it, Scott. I really don't know, and I got to do some real soul searching because I've been okay with the cap we have, and if you want to go over it, pay the luxury tax. But I don't want the game to go away either. So I don't know what I want. And by the way, this will become a massive battle with the union if they try to put in a hard salary cap. It won't happen until 2026 when we have a new collective bargaining agreement to be negotiated, but there'll be a lockout. You may see a strike, and you may see some baseball games being missed if the owners are really set on this hard cap. It's going to be hard. I think it's going to be a bloody battle if they try to go there. Why, Paul? Why would you be against all this other stuff that changes the dynamic of the game? But don't let teams, if you don't want to teach a guy how to hit where players aren't standing, why shouldn't I be able to take what am I trying to say here? Get an advantage because a guy refuses to hit the ball to the other way. Why shouldn't I put 7 guys on one side of the field and let them try to hit through the shift? Just hit a few balls to left field if you're a left-handed hitter. Stop hitting into the shift or trying to hit over it. And then the shift would be taken care of. You wouldn't have to put in rules. And again, I agree 100% with Danny on this. I don't mean to be ganging up on you, Paul. And again, your opinion's fine. If you think, again, I'm not sure if you're saying the shift you don't mind or the rule against the shift you don't mind. I'm not sure. So I could be ranting about nothing. I'm not for putting in rules to make players' numbers better instead of trying to make the player better. Coach up the player to say, hey, Bobby, Vladimir, there's 7 guys standing over there. Why aren't you hitting it over there where there's 3? And I'm exaggerating, right? But it's stupid. Why artificially inflate player stats? You wouldn't shift on a Tony Gwynn. You put a shift on Tony Gwynn, he'd hit 500. You'll be there forever, buddy. Hang in there. Taking the shift away pisses me. I agree 100%. Pisses me off. Play the damn game between the lines with strategy. Thank you. I was looking for, why not get a strategic advantage? If you refuse to hit the other way, then I'm going to load up the side you refuse the man to hit the ball to. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys refuse to hit the other way? Fine. Then hit 220. We don't need rules to improve what isn't broken. The game's not broken. The players are broken. The approach to the game is broken. The game's not broken. Oh. Sorry, Paul. I'm not taking. You're just the vehicle. I don't mean this. My vitriol is not pointed at you, I promise you. This is a topic that, if you can tell, just sets me off, man. My face went. I do get a little. This is a topic. I almost dropped an F-bomb. We have messed with this game until I barely recognize it. And I understand, I'm going to get yelled at like I'm a Bob Costas follower. I'm too traditional. I'm the old guy screaming at the kids to get off my lawn. Well, get off my goddamn lawn. Give me back the game that I grew up with. Because what I'm watching now, most of the time, sucks. Guys have been doing it for 140 years, Paul. So, I wasn't very good at it. That's why I didn't play in the major leagues. Actually, I could hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. I couldn't hit a curveball. But guys have been doing it for, 140 years. So, why do I need to change the rules? They're able to pull it and hit it where they want it, Danny, into seven, or Paul, into 7 players. Why can't you hit it the other way? If it's so hard to do, why are you always able to hit it to the same place where all the guys are standing with a shift on? I had the same argument with the Mad New Yorker for years and never got through to him. And again, I'm not listen, Danny, I'm not trying to change your mind. You ask my opinion, you're always going to get it. Unabashed, unfiltered. I'm wishy-washy on the salary cap, apparently, but this I am not. Disagree 100%. Again, teach guys how to hit. Paul, you've been watching sports long enough. You cannot tell me that you haven't noticed hitters' approach at the plate changing. Nobody tries to hit the other way. We don't hit and run. We don't hit behind runners. We don't change our approach once there's 2 strikes and a man on third base and 1 out. We're still trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Come on. You have watched enough sports to know that this game has changed. The approach to the game has changed. The game wasn't broken. People broke it. The Sports Center mentality. Home run, home run. The Sports Center video game mentality. I want to see home runs. I want to see myself at a home run, stand at home plate and watch it. Nah. Gwyneth, because he is one of the best ever. Go Gwyn. Yeah, well, okay. Everybody, come on. Then if you're not good enough, I don't care. First of all, there's too many teams in baseball. And there's bad players that shouldn't be here. They're not all going to be as good as Gwyn. Again, you could take the shift out of the game just by changing your approach to hitting. And if you can't hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball to the left-hand side, which, by the way, ought to be easier than pulling it, just saying, if your theory is accurate, Paul, and again, don't take my tone to mean it's directed at you. It's directed at this topic. Then bunt. Do something to make them not able to load up one side of the field. And by the way, if you watch close enough, these guys are cheating pretty good and still getting the shift into play. At times, if you watch guys move around the infield, there's still a semi shift out there. And by the way, they took the shift out of and they put the shift into, they took away the shift. Sorry. Has there been a dramatic increase in on-base percentage and batting average that I'm not aware of? Don't think so. And again, I love you guys too. We argue here, we part friends all the time. If we don't, then that's, believe me, I never leave here angry at anybody. I'm not angry at Paul. I'm angry at this topic because I hate this topic. It's you know, it's not baseball. When you have to manipulate rules to improve players' play instead of working, again, Paul, if we were doing everything we could, then maybe we need to change rules, but we're not doing everything we can. We're teaching kids to about exit velocity and launch angles, not hitting the other way, not putting the bat on the ball, not situational baseball. Oh, I'd rather be on with you to explain and try to explain my position on the shift through text. We can do that one day. We're not going to do it today because I'm way over, but one of these Fridays we'll do that, Paul. By the way, you got to promise you won't get mad at me when I start raising my voice with you in the studio. I raise my voice because I'm impassioned. I'm very passionate about certain things. I'm not a yeller and a screamer, but my voice does raise when I'm very passionate about something. I'm very passionate about the game that I love. It's been taken away from me, basically, for no reason. You realize, Paul, and we will talk about this more. We're gonna have to wrap it up here in the next few minutes. You realize that every single major rule change in baseball since 1968 has been in favor of, well, virtually ever. I want to say virtually every rule change, major rule change in baseball has been to benefit the offense since 1968. We lowered the mound. We made ballparks smaller. We put DHs in. The balls got harder. The bats got harder. Not even rule changes, but approaches to the game. I said we lowered the mound, right? We put in pitch clocks. We put the bases bigger. We shortened the baselines. We eliminated the shift. But when pitchers try to use spider tacker or something to help, and by the way, help these guys who throw 98 miles an hour not kill somebody, then we got to take that away. And now we're dressing, we're cavity searching players on the field. Danny says he can name 300 hitters from 25 years ago that could spread the ball around. And I'm lucky to name 30 now. I'm with you, Danny. And again, Paul, I'm surprised you're on this way, and we'll do this. I might, you know what? We might have a round robin show with Danny and Paul and Scott if you're available that day. Got all my baseball aficionados get in, and we'll debate some of this stuff. Couldn't hit a curve, not a fastball. I was a fastball hitter, man. Dead red. You threw me a curveball, man. I was in trouble. That's why I didn't go any further. And I went. And I'm not one to. I'm kind of I don't pat myself on the back. I was a pretty good ball player. If I could hit a curveball, things might have been different in my life. I might have been getting paid a lot of money I wasn't earning. I get nobody hit the other way, but you make it seem like I'm not saying it's easy. That's not my point. Nobody tries, Paul. It's not about easy. It should be hard. Baseball's a hard game. You fail 7 out of 10 times. The best guys fail 7 out of 10 times. We aren't even trying to teach guys hit the other way. That's my point. That's my point, really. I'm not saying it's easy. But they don't even try. Again, if you couldn't hit the ball the other way, then it stands to reason you wouldn't be able to pull the ball into the into the shift every single time either. That shouldn't be easy either. Nothing's easy against Major League pitching. It shouldn't be. Look at the Major League Baseball pitching is, but they took away the shift and it didn't change anything because hitters' approaches aren't changing. We need a Billy Martin to come in and really shake up the game of baseball because it's a copycat league. And as soon as somebody like Billy comes along and changes the approach to the game and plays Billy ball, if you will, then we're going to keep swinging for the fences and worry about 3-run home runs and not throwing out or not playing good defense, not playing good situational baseball, not moving base runners along. It's not baseball anymore. I never saw MLB pull the shift like itches the last few years. You're not following you. Oh, no, they can't do the shift like they did before, but they still cheat. If you watch, you'll see a guy standing behind second base with a left-hander up. And about the time that ball's hit, he's got a couple steps in certain cases, not all the time. There's some teams that kind of will, and again, fine. They're trying to get an advantage. But they don't use it the way they used to. And you know why they didn't do it, Paul? Again, they didn't need to. They couldn't do it. Because guys who would eat it up, good ball players, good hitters, would not, you couldn't shift on it because they just hit the ball where the guys aren't. That's the whole point. The shift came into play when players started pulling everything. And if you can pull everything, then you ought to be able to taught to hit the ball somewhere else. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere here. Thank you, Danny. Maybe I shouldn't have Danny on and Paul. Well, Paul, maybe it should be you and I. Otherwise, you're going to feel ganged up on. I don't want to do it. Yeah, who's people? Why don't I matter? Why don't people in my generation matter? I have a lot of disposable income as well, by the way. But we cater to kids who want to watch video game balls because they don't have the attention span to sit there and watch a well-played 2-1 ball game. They think that's boring. And if you think baseball is boring with a pitcher duel, well played, good defense, then you're watching the wrong game. Baseball wasn't meant to be 10-9. And basketball, it's ruined basketball, the 3-point shot. Again, everybody has to change what they do because we have to see everything fast. Lots of scoring, lots of this, lots of that. Can't sit and enjoy a nice leisurely ball game. I'm on it. This is the biggest prize. Paul feels so strong. This way, I'm all about to have a stroke for Sanford style. I'm surprised too. I was. Thank you, Paul. It's awesome. Don't ever take offense, man. Every single guy that's ever followed my show that I have respect for has gotten me to this point. I love the banner. That's why I do this, man. Do I get worked up and my face gets redder than my shirt, as Danny said? Yeah, but I love it. I love it. It's a release for me. Not kicking my dog. Well, I don't have a dog anymore, but I would never kick my dog. I'm just kidding. Oh, guys, I've gone long today. I've had a blast. We got started slow and we came on like gangbusters. The fastball averaging 95 plus, it's harder to hit against the shift. All right. Well, there's plenty of guys who threw hard back in the day, too. I think Nolan Ryan pitched back in the day, right? Seaver, Gibson, Necro, just kidding. There's plenty of guys who threw 95 plus then, too. I love a 2-1. As do I, all day long. We don't get many of them today, Danny. I love pure baseball, bunt steals, etc. Yes, then you should not be in favor of changing the game by not making the players excel. Who bunts today? The players can't even bunt, for crying out loud. They don't call for it because they don't ever practice it. Oh my God! And steals, by the way, I love steals too. I love the hit and run. I love bunts. I love steals. I love hitting behind the runner. But steals are artificially inflated because you shorten the base path, and you can only throw to first base twice. And there's a pitch clock to take into consideration. Again, a good base stealer will take advantage of all of that. And that's why steals are up, artificially inflated. Rick Sherlock, chime in, my friend. This show, it was a treat. We did have a good time today. No. We had a good time today. And Paul, I'll tell you what, once we get through the new year and things start before we get into spring training, middle of January, we're going to have Paul. And Dan, if you want to be part of it, I don't want to gang up on Paul, but we'll have a little audience round table. And you guys can come in the studio because I want to give Paul a chance to defend his position. Just know that I probably won't react differently with you in the studio. It's all fun. I go upstairs after a show. My wife goes, "Are you okay?" No, don't change your mind now. Just kidding. Listen, I'm not always right either. Again, maybe you guys I haven't said this in a while, but I live by the old Billy Packer maxim is I'm sometimes wrong, but never in doubt. That's me. And again, when I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. I will not waver on this topic even a little bit. Because there's nothing somebody can show me. I shouldn't say that. I should never say that. I doubt there's anything anybody can ever show me to get me to even waver on this just a little bit. Okay. We're going to wrap it up. Again, nobody manufactures runs anymore. Look at even if I got to have a ghost runner on second base, you know how we take that away? Nobody takes advantage of it, Paul. I hate it. I know you hate it. Danny hates it. But if you were smart, I had Billy Martin Jr. on, and I said to him, "What would your dad do?" I told him what his dad would do. And I believed if your dad was alive and managing with a ghost runner on second base, you might very well see two bunts. Bunt him to third base, and then suicide squeezes him in. Done. Game over. Bottom of the inning. Done. Maybe not in the top of the inning. Bottom of the inning, you're still tied. Nobody does it. How many times? I guarantee you it's happened, but more often than not, 75, 80% of the time, they don't bunt the guy to third base with nobody out. How stupid is that? So you don't even play fundamental baseball with a rule that fundamentally changed the game. You still don't play fundamental baseball with that advantage. That's how bad baseball's gotten as far as their approach to how we play the game. I do have to wrap it up here in a second. Suicide Squeeze, me and Danny do a podcast. That's the name of it. You want to hear the jingle? We haven't heard the jingle in a while, have we? All right, let's hear the jingle. Hold on. This is Rick's favorite, apparently. Here it is. This is the dulcet tones of Mac McGrath.
Keith Engle, the guy with the sports talk show. On the internet, he's the guy that we all know. If you love your sports, he's the guy for you. He has lots of shows on Roku. Keith Engle with the TGI Sports Talk Show.
I love that. Matt can't believe I play that. I haven't played it in a while, so thank you for getting me to do that, Rick. Guys, it's been great. Suicide Squeeze will be naming a podcast. I got it. You guys should do one, man. Here's what you guys should do. You should do it. Get a hold of Mac. Mac will give you a time slot to get it on Roku. You don't even need to do it there. You can just do it on Facebook and YouTube like I do, and then on Roku and Twitter and whatever. Do it. You guys will have a blast. And I will say, I love this group. And we fight and we argue, and I leave friends with everybody. So don't ever, I'll leave you guys with that. Don't ever take offense to what I say. I don't, he would have bad. He would. Oh, God, I love this group so much. We're going to wrap it up, guys. I'm way over. I got to try to call my boss to wish him a Merry Christmas because he's off for 2 weeks. We'll see you guys Sunday. So our last show before the Christmas holiday, and we'll be on through. We'll have our shows on through the holiday. The only thing we got to figure out is the college football huddle, and I'll try to get some opinion on that from you guys and when we should do it. I think it's going to be Thursday, but I'd like to do it early in the day if people can attend. I don't want to do it for 8. So, Keith Engle for TGI Sports Talk. We'll see you next week with the MLB update. But we'll also see you Sunday with the Stream of Consciousness. See you later. Go Notre Dame.